Capricorn full moon. The end of a tough cycle approaches. 29th of June 2026. What's working, what's worth your time, and what isn't. You figured that one out. Capricorn is a practical earth sign that doesn't like wasting time. It's the hardest worker of the zodiac, asking us to take responsibility, stay committed, and focus on what truly matters. This full moon also highlights where you're being called to lean into Capricorn's opposite sign, Cancer. It's an invitation to slow down, to heal, and reconnect with your emotional truth. After this long battle, struggle, or old way of surviving, your soul is asking you now for nourishment, not from the everyday needs that you have to carry alone. Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, is the disciplinarian. It rules over our bones, our teeth, and we can certainly hold a lot of unprocessed emotion within the body. It may want your attention of self-love and of nurture right now. At the same time as this full moon, Mercury is preparing to go retrograde, simply meaning going back over all things that we may have missed. In Cancer, it's inviting us to reflect on how far we've come emotionally, how we've matured our emotions. Themes around home, children, family are going to be in the spotlight for the next 3 or 4 weeks. The way you nurture yourself, the connection to emotional security and safety, your connection with family, with your tribe, with home, this may come back into focus. But with this Capricorn full moon, it's asking you to see it in a different perspective. See it from a matured energy. And if it's not worth your time, it's asking you to move forward. This is your reminder to pause, to stop, to check in. We're midpoint through now the year. And this Capricorn full moon is asking, what's still worth your energy? And what are you finally ready to let go of? Welcome, guys. We're going to go into my tarot now to see what this full moon is all about. And I'm going to pull 3 cards from my tarot, then I'm going to pull 3 from my Moonology deck and end with a card from the Rebecca Campbell Rose and asking what the gift is of this full moon. Stay tuned till the end. Let's see what's going on. Let's see, we've got 3 cards from my tarot. What do they want to tell us about this full moon? What do they want to tell us? The hardest worker, there's that Capricorn energy. This is actually Virgo energy, but we'll take it because it's another earth sign. You can see the analogy here, and it is the 8 of Pentacles. And strangely enough, this full moon happens at 8th degree Capricorn. 8 is a magic number. 8 is a powerhouse number. 8 is the infinity symbol. Where you've transformed one energy into another. Where have you transformed your life through hard work? Where do you believe you can only change through hard work? Where have you had to earn your love, your emotion to be seen in the world? We're taking on the energy of the opposite sign of Capricorn, which is Cancer, where the sun resides right now. So we're trying to get that balance between the feminine energy of Cancer, the nurture, the mother. Capricorn represents the father, the paternal line. Cancer, the maternal line. So where was the relationship with work? Where did you grow up thinking how you thought about work, thought about money, thought about your emotional and physical practical stability? They're all coming up to be reviewed, reflected, and moved on from if it's not serving you. So these could be old beliefs, limiting beliefs that you had, possibly from childhood with us having that moon in, that sun in Cancer. What else do we have? The universe wants to gift you with a brand new beginning. How beautiful. This is an offering. I feel like this full moon it's a gift for your hard work. That's what Saturn does. He teaches us hard lessons. Saturn rules Capricorn. So he's going to be teaching us very practical, hard lessons. And you will get rewarded because he rules over karma. Saturn rules over karma. And here is the just rewards. But you need to be in a receptive feminine to receive. The masculine is the doer, provider, protector. The feminine, the receptive energy, which is more Cancerian. So if we're still too heavy in that hard working energy, it's asking us to slow down, to receive. This also could be a defense mechanism on our practical energy. I'm thinking of the 4 of Pentacles I'm going to show you the card. Here it is. The 4 of Pentacles, where we can be too heavy in this energy, hanging on too tightly to the struggle, to the past, that we're not making space. This is a very masculine energy where it feels a little bit unsafe, unstable, but it's blocking in another pentacle that the universe is trying to gift you. So you're getting in your own way of something. Let's have a look. What else do we have? The Two of Swords. Now, I always associate my tarot with the astrology, and this is Saturn in Libra. So Saturn, remember, rules Capricorn. Wherever you had to learn through difficult relationships, Libra is relationships of all kinds, especially close ones that connected to our heart. Where has he taught you things to do with sharing your love, sharing your energy, sharing your emotions? This is where you're asking to take your blindfold off. Some of you, I feel it may be saying that you've got your heart crossed out of protection, out of self-preservation, and you might be blocking a gift of something coming in or moving forward. So you're blocking some kind of karmic rewards coming in, however they may want to show up for you. Now remember, Mercury is going retrograde the same day. Mercury is going to go over the sign of Cancer for the next 3 weeks, which could be reunion, which could be reflection, review, things and people coming back from your past. And if you're gung-ho in that Four of Pentacles hanging on to the past, you're going to think that cycle is going to go straight back into the same energy. And this is saying, take the blindfold off, uncross your heart and be open to receive. Capricorn will and has built its foundation on a solid ground, but there might be some emotions that you've matured and you're seeing things differently now, so they're not going to feel like a threat, but your nervous system might still be in that threat energy. So when we go into that energy of the nervous system, it is about giving yourself some nurture, telling yourself you're safe, you're loved, so it can trust again. Right, let's have a look. What else do we have? We do have the moon at the bottom of the deck, where I did say I was only going to shuffle, pick 3. I'm trying to keep this shorter, guys, just because Capricorn likes things to be time efficient. So let's see how I do, because I do like to talk. As we know, I'm going to pull now a card underneath these 3 that I've already pulled and see what they have to say. This is my Moonology deck. You are good enough. We're healing good enough wounds. You know you're good enough now. You're good enough. Whether that is at work, whether that's in a family dynamic, whether that is with yourself, being of service. Where do you now know that you are good enough and you don't need to be of service to your own detriment? And that might be a lesson that you've had to learn the hard way, Saturn in Capricorn, in relationships. And you've pulled back and people have noticed that you've changed. And it may trigger some kind of rejection wound, whether in you or others. So that then means that they get their defences up. But in fact, all it is, you've grown, you've had to take some time out, you've had to take a step back, and you've grown. And this Capricorn full moon might be saying, are they worth my time anymore? Are they worth the energy that I was given? Is this situation worth the energy? Are these thoughts worth the energy? Or is it distracting me from building a life I love? And feeling emotionally safe comes from within. Meditate and contemplate. Pisces energy. That came in under that Ace of Pentacles. A fiery climax approaches. Interesting, that's Aries energy. So there could be some kind of fiery energy. So in this way, you might have to be discerning, very disciplined with yourself also with Capricorn, where you might have took time out, healed, grown, heal from the situation, heal from the relationship, but people around you, your tribe, remember Cancer rules the tribe, they may not have. So this may come in and it might trigger them. So anything like that, you're needing to go in and put your boundaries in, because this is a Pisces energy. And the fishes they're obviously in the sea, they don't have boundaries. So this is where you may need to put the boundaries in, but with love, with a mature, stable, safe energy. Communication is going to be key in a Mercury retrograde, as it always is. Emails can get misconstrued. They can go missing. And as I'm saying that, we've got a thunderstorm. Something unexpected, I'm just getting the lightning strike there, might come in. But because you've grown and you're in that now stable energy of Capricorn, knows his worth, knows his value, it ain't going to rock your foundation anymore. That's interesting. Now, under the Two of Swords, what do we have? Two of Swords, we have a new start is coming, new moon. Now, after the full moon, after the 29th, 2 weeks later, it follows by a new moon. New moons are about new beginnings. And this new moon on July the 14th is going to be in the sign of Cancer. This is where a new start in your emotional energy is going to come in. And this is probably going to give you this space in the next 2 weeks while Mercury's in its retrograde, following this full moon, leading up to the new moon in Cancer. Something may come in and it confirms to you where you've grown and where you're just not going to waste your time anymore. Whether this is your own inner demons where you think, crikey, I was really keeping myself in my head. I really couldn't see this situation any different then, but I can now, and I'm going to set myself free from it. The new moon in July the 14th, or on the July the 14th, which is new moon in Cancer, moving forward in that brand new lineage. Cancer is the maternal line, the lineage, the ancestors. For some of you, you've gained or you've healed a lot of ancestral wounding. And that's where that end of that tough cycle from this Capricorn energy may have shown up or will show up to finally confirm that it's done, because you won't feel it anymore. You won't feel emotionally triggered if things are going array. And if they are getting triggered, that means there's more work to do. Okay guys, I'm going to pull and I'm going to end the reading on my Rose, the Rose Tarot by Rebecca Campbell, just because I feel like I want to lean into the mother energy. Even though we're in Capricorn full moon, I feel like it wants to soften. It wants to bring in some softness to our heart and ease some kind of hard-working energy that we might have been in. Okay, full moon in Capricorn, what's the energy from the Rose Oracle? If you're liking this, guys, do hit that subscribe button. What do we have? We have the fertile void. This is the blessing of this full moon. I'm going to read from the book on this one. So it is, wow, we've got inner winter. Can you hear that rain? I love to hear the rain. Inner winter, rest, potency, and secret beginnings. It also says patience, which is interesting because we pull the Aries card. And Aries is renowned for its impatience. And Saturn's actually in Aries for the next 2 and a bit years. So Saturn's residing in Aries, and he's the leader. He's the new way forward. And this way might be saying, I'm not moving forward in the old way of thinking, being, or doing. And I'm not getting triggered by these old wounds. It's time to let them go. So let's see what this inner winter and rest say. Rest is a very Cancerian energy. Slow down. This tough cycle has been exactly that. It's been tough. And it'll have took a toll on our bones, our joints. We hold a lot of energy in there. And this is asking us to slow down, get some healing, take a break, be gentle with yourself, drink plenty of water in a Cancerian season, and trust your intuition. Oh, wow. Trust your intuition. And maybe it's getting early night. The fertile void. Let's have a look. The fertile void. Here we go. So the fertile void. This is a very auspicious card. Wow. There's that new beginning. There's that gift that the universe wants to bring in. It holds the potent golden seeds of a new beginning and the aftermath of an end. We're called to have patience and enter a state of deep rest, repair, regeneration, and acceptance. To let a part of our lives, or even who we once were, metaphorically die in order to seed, sprout, bud, or bloom again. Cancer season is going to be ideal time to do that before we hit then Leo season, which is all about fire, action, confidence, play. Cancer season, slow down, rest, heal, grieve if you have to, especially the old versions of ourselves. There's often a letting go, a grief or a mourning involved. A death of self or what was once, the ending of things that were once important, whether that be relationships, jobs, identities, ways of being. The fertile void asks that we honour endings to begin again. It's a crucial part of growth, and new isn't possible without it. In the card you can see a golden seed. You can see the golden seed right in that centre. It's easy to mistake this phase of growth as one where nothing much is happening. But beneath the surface of the winter soil, things have never been more active. Winter is a phrase of initiation, renewal and rebirth. When we're going through a period of inner winter, we experience this too. We metaphorically go underground by coming to a standstill and allowing ourselves to recover and rest. We don't realise it, but this is the most important part of our growth, and it takes faith and surrender to do it. Trust the sureness of the soil. The new is being woven without you having to micromanage every move. Trust the sureness of the soil. Be cradled by the great mystery. This is a very tender, powerful time. And the question and soul inquiry is, how can you surrender into the great mystery? And I want to go back to this card here. This is the hardest worker. Capricorn can be the control. He likes to be in control, building, fixing, doing, sometimes for a distraction. This is asking you to go more into that Cancer energy. Slow down. Rest to receive. Slowing down doesn't mean you've failed. Slowing down isn't weak. It is needed for the seeds that are planting and taking root and wanting to be nourished. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great full moon and I'll speak with you soon.